Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Today we have Marvin Wilson, CEO of Funding Credit. Marvin is also a Desert Storm veteran in which he served in the U.S. Navy for 8 years. Marvin is a dedicated entertainment veteran in the travel and ticketing industry, where he created his own travel company called Wilson's Secret Travel, LLC. Marvin's understanding of the economic trend of business and his awareness of the fact that business principles are built on credit and capital, Marvin went on to create Funding Credit, which became a financial media powerhouse in the Carolinas, and within 2 years, Funding Credit grossed $250,000 in revenue. Well, welcome, Marvin, to the show. We appreciate you being here.
Indeed.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate being on. Thank you so much for the invite.
Absolutely. So quickly, just tell us how you got started in your business ventures.
I guess with me, I never was wanted to be pinned in a box. I'm a really creative type guy. So, I've always, sort of saw the void in areas and wanted to fill that supply and demand in areas I really, sought out or really feel that I could penetrate and, and use my skill sets and build something. I've tested a lot of different models, and with the travel piece, Wilson's Secret Travels, that was my first initial business there. And I think I was a little ahead of the curve because in the Carolinas, we didn't have a lot of celebrities that was really wanting to be, out and about among just with creative ideas. But I had to really start looking at a lot of, I would say, untraditional celebrities, like going to the inauguration for Obama. I took a lot of prolific churches and a couple basketball players and things like that. I just got real creative in that space, and it got well known about really doing a lot of, I would say, quote unquote, dignified people here in the Carolinas, and like the Estella Awards and Soul Train Music Awards, and took in a couple DJs on their honeymoons and things like that. So, I was just sort of beating the bushes, just really out there, just putting my brand out. And then I got into ticketing. It was a guy that moved beside me in my office with the travel, and he was like, "Man, Marvin, you got everybody in the city coming in your office. What are you up to? I mean, how do you meeting all these people?" And I just told him, I was like, man, I'm just a walking billboard. I'm just telling people what I do. And, I really try to set the tone on what's their interest. And, I give myself a few days and really drill down on what this guy or what my client was excited about. And I just sort of feed off that energy, and I come back with something that I know that they would really, be head over heels about, and it usually works. And then with the ticketing, being an Afro-American, the only ticketing that we knew of was Ticketmaster. And so it was a little bit slighted because we wouldn't really value it in the marketplace because, black men talking about corporate ticketing, they thought we were just some guys outside the Coliseum trying to hustle some tickets, And we were like, no. You can trust these guys, selling those tickets, So anyway, the gentleman, which was, he passed 2 years ago. He was a good man, and he, actually became my mentor. And he was a veteran as well. And he had bought into a ticketing company that was owned by one of the richest men in Mexico. Now, I forgot his name, but he bought it for $2 million. And what it was, he had the whole Gulf America, well, the Gulf Coast and Louisiana and all that. So we were selling most of our tickets to the Hispanic community down in Brownsville, McAllen, Texas, and Arizona, and all those other places. So he wanted to create something here in the Carolinas because he was from Carolina. So he brought that name here and changed the name to Easy Tix. And, I helped him pioneer that idea, and we pretty much sort of took it over here. Everything that was coming through the Carolinas, the shows, and I don't know if you guys heard of that big the college tournament that comes here, CIAA, and all that. We really dominated that whole aspect. But again, I was challenged because even though he was my mentor, and it wasn't me being bullheaded, I just saw the trend of being Afro-American. We had to get outside of what we thought was interesting in tickets, because I saw tickets in country western music. I saw tickets in rodeos. I saw tickets in, gun shows, and he really that didn't fit his model, his mindset. I thought, hey, tickets is a ticket, and with him, we sort of, but it was respectful, but we sort of, departed ways after we was officially set up. It was after a good 4-year run. And, I thought that my value had pretty much outspoke what was already sort of spoken for. And that's when I created my own entity, and it was called Wilson Secret Tickets. And that next year, in all respect, I pretty much took it over from there. I was the biggest ticketing company, Afro-American ticketing company in the Carolinas that I know of. And I really didn't know of any other black ticketing companies that was in America. I need to do my research, but, I didn't know of any other ones because I was really the only one that people were calling on, from radio stations all over America. Tom Joyner had sold some of my tickets. I sold tickets for the biggest galas, all this different type of stuff. But I even got into the bodybuilding. I did the biggest bodybuilding show here in the Carolinas. It was almost 15,000 people. Never had a black ticketing company in the convention center of Charlotte. So I've just really sort of always looked at the bigger picture of things. And that's when I had to fall into get into more of the financial aspect, because, when you're thinking big, you got to have the capital to back it, and so with that, I sort of transcended into what I'm actually doing now. That is really paramount in my business right now. It's really taken on a lot of attention, and it's really helping a lot of people. So I'm really blessed with what I have going on now, which is funding credit.
Okay, all right. Well, that's definitely that's a story. Let's put it that way. I've never met a black person who ran a ticketing company, so I am honored to know you. So now,
thank you so much.
With the funding credit, okay, what is that all about?
Well, I would say about 3 years ago, I had came, with the ticketing, and I'm going somewhere with this real quick. The ticketing, and that's why I tell people always have capital and be ready for that switch. Technology took over ticketing. I know you guys have heard of Eventbrite. When Eventbrite came in, that $800 million gorilla, it took all the food off my table. Because people didn't need me anymore. They could do their own tickets. And so with that taught me a lesson. But again, I'm a warrior. And I said, okay, that's great. So with that, I got into I've never done it before in my life. I came a part of a multi-level marketing company, and it was called SES.
Mm-hmm.
And what it was is really, it was a bunch of salesmen going around saying that they were selling, helping people with credit. And I got part of that sales team. And of course I, blew it out the water. I think I came sales director in like 3 months and broke records and all this type of stuff. But at the end of the day, what happened is that I started meeting people that was coming from my journey, business temperament people that needed answers, and they needed, hey, I can fix your credit. Okay, but yeah, man, but listen, I need $100,000, man. I got to turn next quarter. I need to pay some bills. I got to open up this next office. So my conversation of just being able to tell somebody I can fix your credit, that wasn't the end all be all for the people that I was talking to and the people that I was attracting. The people I was attracting to was saying, okay, well, I might need that credit, but I might need some business credit. I might need some trade lines. And by the way, do you know what bank I could take this information to and get approved? So I was like, wow, okay. Okay, well, maybe, I learned the business model and it was really great to me. I understood, going after the, certain aspects of funding credit. It was started off, I made relationships with car lots. You have to think everybody that goes to buy a car, 9 times out of 10, the people that's not walking out of that place with a car, it was a credit problem. So I'm getting referrals from all over the Carolinas, from dealerships, and people that know that I was doing my thing. Of course, I was going to apartment buildings. People that couldn't get an apartment, their credit was jacked up, they were sending people to me. People doing tax season, I was picking that up. So that business model, I won't take that like that was my own. That business model came from that multi-level marketing, but I just revamped it and added 2 other levels to that and says, okay, well, you need to buy a house in 2 months. Okay, when I clean your credit, it's probably going to go up a little bit, but guess what? I have some insured trade lines that I can drop on your credit, and your credit can go up 50 points in 2 weeks. So with that being said, I, invested after that, and that was really, working out for a lot of people, and people were getting approved because I was being able to really enhance their credit within a couple months, opposed to 4, 5, 6 months. And so I invested in a company, and actually this happened been almost 2 months ago. I took it to a whole nother level. I was outsourcing a lot of the funding aspect. And when I say funding, I had banks and different banks and credit unions around in my area that I would consult people about, because they would give me the common trend on what's working and what's not for business owners or people that's trying to get a mortgage and so forth and so forth. So what I did is, again, it was challenged. It was a challenge there because 9 times out of 10, guys, when you're talking to somebody that's in a bank and they call you back and they tell you that you were disapproved, some of them can, but most of them can't even really tell you why you was disapproved. You know what I'm saying? They can't. All they can say, well, Mr. Wilson, I'm sorry, they disapproved you. You might get a letter in the mail sort of explaining why. Mm-hmm. But when you set out and went out and did everything you did to get your business off the ground or take your business to the next level, and you can't get any capital, and somebody's telling you they really don't know why they turned you down, that's a dark moment in a lot of people's lives. And a lot of people is not as strong as other people, and they really get deterred, and they'll just, just alleviate their whole business or just give up. So I had to become the answer. And so what I did is I made a pitch at a company that I thought that fit my business model perfectly. And what it is it's sort of like an underwriter, proprietary software. And so what makes me different from other credit companies is not only I fix your credit, not only I can add to your credit and put credit history on your credit, I can also expound and I can put you in my pre-approval software, and I can pull someone's credit and I can actually give them a pre-approval on, okay, you're approved for 40, 50 grand. So if somebody says, oh, wow, Marvin, but man, I need 75. I can actually tell them how they can actually obtain the 75 by a couple tweaks in their credit, or adding to, or doing something, or maybe some more other documents that we need to get them that 75. So I'm sort of pioneered an authentic way of someone actually not have to go to the bank, because my software pretty much can crawl a whole database of hundreds of banks and credit unions at one time and match you with the best funding source that's connected to you, your name, your business, or your credit.
Okay.
Yes.
My first question is this available only in North Carolina, or is this throughout the United States? Where do you function?
No, this is all through the United States. It's not just I got clients in pretty much everywhere now.
Okay.
That's good to know.
That's what I'm thinking.
How do people get in touch with you?
Yes, people can definitely go to the website. It's funding, the word funding -credit.com. I'm definitely on social media, have some social media awareness. Funding Credit as well, with no hyphen. Funding Credit on Instagram. Funding Credit on Facebook. And of course, I've got a couple numbers they can definitely call the offices, some main lines, which is 980-892-1823, or they can call 704-975-5866. And okay, yeah, definitely. My operations manager is looking at, and also 910-638-1347. And, any one of those areas, you could definitely, contact us, direct message us. Again, the website is funding-credit, and all the social media posts would be, you could just look up Funding Credit.
Okay. So there's a lot of different credit repair companies that are out there, some of which negotiate with your creditors. What's your feel on that?
Well, I guess what you meaning, like the way they're doing it, or?
Yes, the way that they're doing it. What they do is they pretty much, basically do a negotiation for you to pay less.
Right. Well, this is my theory on this whole thing. Well, not say theory. This is what I stand on. What people are really missing, and I'm going to say this real technical, and it affects everybody, but I'm just speaking definitely for most of our community. A lot of people that wasn't, groomed early, or parents taught us anything about credit. Not only we don't really know who we are, we don't really know who we are when it comes to consumer rights. We don't know who we are when it comes to legal structure. We don't know who we are even when it comes to this credit. And so my stance and my company comes in with, it doesn't matter what's on your credit. One, particularly, we look for violations. There are always violations. There are violations the way they spelt your name. Sometimes when you see account numbers that have XXXX on there, well, that's not my account number. Give me my full account number. Well, if they can't give you the full account number, that means that my company, the company that originally had my account, sold it to you. And 9 times out of 10, most of your information was either bought from the credit bureaus, third party, or debt collections. And so we don't talk to the credit bureaus the same way other credit companies talk to. We don't talk dispute letters. We do more so, we call them demand letters. Okay? So when you know your consumer rights, you've read the UCC, you know the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and you just know where you stand and you know who you are, these people don't supposed to be calling you. These people don't supposed to have your information. And I want to know if they could tell me, and we just say this upon, of course, on top of the legal premise that we put on top of this stuff. How did you get my information? I had a conversation with one of my my credit specialists this morning, and they were like, "There's no way you can't remove a bankruptcy." Well, to scale it down, guys, okay, all right. Well, maybe the court system does have your information. You did file bankruptcy. Of course you did. You did it. But what I want to know is, how did Equifax and Experian and TransUnion get my bankruptcy in their system? We go about it like they supposed to have it. Oh, my God, my credit going to be jacked up. I done filed bankruptcy. Oh. Yeah, you're going to go through that process. But if I could tell you that TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax are just companies, they're not connected to the government. So every company has sales agents, right? So they have agents and people that go by and get your criteria, right? So they can actually class you and put you in prominent classifications and give you a credit score. Now, out of all this stuff, it might not make a lot of sense. But I think a lot of this and I do a conference call every Thursday at 6:30. I'd love sometimes if you could drop in and, give us a little, just listen to what I teach this stuff every Thursday. And the numbers are going out of the roof because people are not understanding. And I make it real bad on other credit companies, because once I tell people who they are and what can be done, they're really strict. They're really, they're particular about who they're going to let help them with their credit after that. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell people to look this information up. I tell them to do their own homework. Don't take my word for it, but it's a very, very, very intense way about cleaning someone's credit and restoring your credit.
Okay. Wow. And how can we connect to this call every morning? Is this at 6:30 in the evening or morning?
It's 6:30 in the evening every Thursday morning. Thursday evening. I'm sorry. I'm saying Thursday morning. Thursday evening at 6:30.
Oh, okay.
And what is the number for that?
Hold on. I can give you this number now.
Okay.
It's the dial-in number is 515-604-9501. Again, the dial-in number is 515-604-9501. And then you can the access code is 287-679. That's 287-679. And that's sharp. That's Thursday evening sharp at 6:30.
Okay, for about
every Thursday.
Hour. How long does the is the conference call?
Oh yeah, we really jump in and get out. I don't have anybody. We're usually right around 35 because it goes over a little bit because I give some time always give a couple minutes for people to ask a few questions or things like that. Mm-hmm. But it's really set up to go like 30 minutes, but it's usually between 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay. Wow. This is definitely, you got me thinking over here about what you said.
Yes. I tell you, it's really, people understand, and I think they feel my passion. I've been through it. Like I tell people, with my entrepreneur, all the glitz and glamour of this bio, but I tell people, don't get it twisted, man. I almost was on my mom's couch twice. It's tough out here. And if you don't have the information, and if you're not set up appropriately in business, that you can't seek capital and you have to use your own money, or you're thinking profits of that company supposed to run that company, your door is going to be closed real soon. So the credit criteria is really someone can either create wealth, they can create definitely some good residual income, and they definitely can get their freedom. Mm-hmm. If you was taught about credit cards, we wouldn't be cutting them up. We would know how to be disciplinarians and know how to use them, because it's not nothing bad about having credit cards. It's not nothing bad about having $6,000 or $7,000 worth of bills and all you're paying is $2,000. because you got a 1.1 interest rate on a card that's telling you you're a fantastic person and you're so credible, and here's your card because you got a 750 credit score. So you could just put everything on this card, sir, and pay us every 45 days. I mean, come on. I mean, that's cushion, that's freedom, it's just, but fear is fear. What you don't know, that's what people attack, or they just don't even try it at all. So, but it's people out here that's really, can be creative. And I think that we can really start building some stronger communities, some bigger alliances, and really be, some really good business people out here if we had a lot of this information and criteria behind it.
Absolutely. That's the information that you just shared with us is major. There's so many people who go into business and we don't know what we're doing. We don't have that information for credit and how to use it and how to turn things around when things go south. And that's what I'm hearing from you, is that you actually help people to turn things around when they go south and learn how to really handle the whole credit arrangement in a way that will be beneficial, because most of us don't know how to do that. And like you said, in our community, we weren't raised with that information. We weren't trained. We weren't money trained. We were taught to go out and work, get a paycheck, pay your bills, be a good person, and then you get some credit, and then you run it up way beyond your means, and you're sunk. That's what I hear you're saying. You're teaching people how to get the credit, how to clean up their situation, and then keep from turning around and going back. So that's really valuable information. I really appreciate it. I'm sure our listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Definitely need it. And we're definitely going to have you back because we need for people to hear this often.
We need training.
Yes.
We need your teaching ability to transfer this information into the community, especially with our young people coming up, and they're coming up in a generation where they believe that they're supposed to have, and they're not always ready to have it for the same reasons. They weren't trained. They weren't trained in finances, but they want the car. They want the apartment, and yeah, they're already struggling with educational bills. And then they come out, and, they're subject, they're human, they're going to want the more that they were promised. And they think that the way to do it is with credit. And then all of a sudden they find themselves, not only do they have to pay college reimbursement, they're stuck with another $10,000, $20,000 in credit card bills. Not a good
absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and the amazing part of it, I'm glad you guys touched on it real quick, is that once people go through our funding program, we actually have counselors and people that actually help you structure. Okay, guys. Okay, you said you want to open up this barbershop. Okay, we got you 3 credit cards per $25,000 per card. Okay, that's $75K. Okay, now with this, what's your end result? What are you going to do with this $75,000? What are you going to be paying? What is your monthly? I mean, are you going to be paying rent for this building? Are you going to be paying for equipment with this building? And then we structure via 1, 2, 3. Is this the card that's going to be just some cushion in case some fires happen, or just whatever needs to be paid for? Is this going to be your monthly bills coming out of this card? Is this the card that's going to help get the business implemented? Rather, getting everything you need, fees or insurance and da. So because people go out there and you get them this cash and you get them this capital, and all they know is they got 3 big cards in their pocket. Next thing you know, they might want to, they hadn't had that much money before. And I'm just being on a lot of personal clients as I had before I had this alliance and team. They would go out and, my wife, she had never been to Hawaii or, and you know, hey, you know, that's your wife. He wants to feel like he's doing something, and I get it, you know, but, you know, or the, you know, mother, I've never took my mother here or there. So when people get access to capital, that's power. And so you have to have, and those things are okay to do, but you need to make sure that you're structured for that. You know, it's not that we're telling you to get this money and every single dime has to go towards the business. But what we're trying to do is make sure that if you have those three pieces of plastic, please be, you know, have some type of structure and an itemized type of list that says, okay, this is for this, this is for this. And I can tell people, you know, and I used to just give them just the real common sense stuff. Hey, look, guys, if I get you this card, please just do me one thing. Before you go out and make a big $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 purchase and go out and do a bunch of stuff, just call the credit card company and says, hey, my name is such and such, and I'm about to use about $6,000 in the next 30 days. Could you tell me what my monthly payment would be if I use $6,000? Now, I know, guys, that sounds like some elementary stuff, but I have to tell people that, you know, so then they'll understand. If I go out and use this card and spend $6,000, next month I'm going to be looking at this in my face. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because it's just the not knowing, you know?
Yes.
And so that's what we have on our end. We definitely have a team that once we do get you the funding, you know, we'll still be there in reference of trying to help you make sure, because we want you to come back. We want you to come back for the second round and get $100,000 extra. But you would never get there if you dismantled the first round.
Yes, that's absolutely the truth.
Yes.
There's some. I do have a lot of questions, but we'll have to save some of them.
Yes, I have a lot.
I guess my major question, because I think this is what many people are probably thinking at this point, is one, could you clarify that you give training, and is there a free consultation or is it automatically a structured payment consultation? How do you work with people who are like, oof, I need to speak to this person immediately?
Yeah, well, this is what it is. We have a really profound business model. We have credit repair, we have trade lines, we have business credit, we have business. We have a CPA on board that actually can set up your business, whatever entity or whatever that needs to be able to coincide with your idea. So what we do is, because this is what happened, guys, and I know y'all guys understand, there's at least minimum $100 consulting fee. And I have to do that for the most part. Now, what I like to say is, on Thursdays, I let people just blow it out. So, I mean, if they have questions, by all means, jump on Thursdays. But at the end of the day, I am, guys, you know, I have to run my business the way it needs to be run. And this information didn't come by my way free. But I do try to implement the $100 will go into whatever service that we render. And we have about 7. And I'm quite sure probably 95% of the people that probably want to ask me a question, it's somewhere in one of those 7 entities of business, personal credit, funding, business credit, something going on with their credit that they don't understand. So whatever that is, you know, it would definitely be something that if the credit is, and I'm making, you know, if the credit repair is $750 for the whole tour, well then, you know, after your consultation, it'll be $650, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That makes
sense. But yes. And I absolutely, I give a 30-minute call for that $100. And I'm really, you know, I broke some chains from some people on hands and feet. You know, with those conversations, because they're like, aha, oh man, I didn't know I could do that. Or, oh my God, I'm wasting time. And it's, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Most people that went out here and have a business and they got an okay credit score, I guarantee you for the most part, I won't put 100% on it, but most of the people that I've talked to on a $100 consultation, they usually wind up calling me back within 2 or 3 weeks or leaving something in my business email saying, hey, you know what, man, I realized, man, I'm qualifiable. Or basically telling me that they got money inside their business
that they're not aware of. Of course, they don't have money in the bank sitting somewhere, but they were, put it this way, they were fundable and didn't know it. There's so many different programs out there. So it's definitely worth it. But again, guys, like I said, I don't mind talking and teaching. I don't mind coming out, talking to, groups and things of that sort. I mean, I have to put a price on it, but the $100 is definitely a good whole. And if I'm feeling good about it and we're on something, I won't stop at 30 minutes. I'm going to make sure that you're clear and you're getting what you need. Even if I have to run over 45 minutes or whatever the case may be. I mean, I'm just passionate about my time, but I also have to put value on my time.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
So again, before we wrap up, how do people get in contact with you?
Absolutely. You can go to our company email is info@funding-credit.com. That's info@funding-credit.com. Of course, the website is funding-credit.com. And again, our social media tags, Facebook, Instagram is Funding Credit with no hyphen, just the word Funding Credit. And the phone number is 980-892-1823. Or you can call the operations manager. She's runs the whole ordinance down at the corporate office, and it's 910-638-1347. And her name is Lily Baker. She has all my contact information. I talk to her at least about 2 or 3 times a day. So that's always a good follow-up for me, or a quick text and things like that, because I just couldn't regulate all the calls coming my way, because this stuff is just, it's some good stuff, and it's just growing, But I'm so happy that guys, y'all have me on there. Like I said, I love to unveil a lot of the secrets and things that's hurting our community. And I think all of us have played a part of the unknowing. And I just want to be a part of just being able to, open up some doors and help some people. That's really what about something that's genuine and intentional to open up some people's eyes and know who they are at the same time. Because I'm motivating people as well. I talk to my people all the time, guys. Self-belief is one thing, but your image of who you are is another thing. So don't put your head down. Don't worry about if you done hit a bankruptcy. Don't worry about if you done hit a repo, because guess what, guys? If you knew the game, your head would still be up high. You still be walking and smiling and waving at people every day, because, there are answers. They've done it. You didn't know it. I'm going to say they, or whatever the case may be. So, guys, listen, there are answers out here. Whether you come to me or go somewhere else, do your research. And let's love on each other, and let's get this information in front of some people. Let's help them.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, we thank you so much, Marvin, for taking time out of your busy schedule to share this really important information. And of course, we're going to definitely have you on again, because I think that people need to hear this often, in order to step into action and realize that there's something better, and there's information.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
There's hope.
Yes.
Yes, and there's hope.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I want to give you guys kudos as well. I mean, these platforms, and being able to go out and build this platform you guys have, it's helpful for our business owners, because it gives us a platform for us to speak freely and to really be able to access a lot of people. So I appreciate you guys as well.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you to the amazing women of a Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASCEN LLC, and our media partners. Let Just Minding My Business Media promote your business. For information, visit us at jmmb.asistercircle.org. That's jmmb.asistascircle.org. Voiceovers by RCH VoiceWorks for when you want to be heard. Call 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.